Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this Madden 21 passing tips video breakdown, I want to take a look at Tampa 2 Cover Buster. And what this one is going to be about as far as this video is going to show you a play that we like to run to attack Cover 2 coverage, in particular Tampa 2. And what I want to show you before I get into the actual breakdown as far as Madden 21 is concerned, I want to go into some game footage of a game that was played this past weekend between the Bears and the Packers that showcases how this particular route, a concept, can actually attack Cover 2, especially Tampa 2, and be able to beat it. And then we'll apply it to Madden. So let's go ahead and look at the actual play. And the actual play that you'll find here as we run this was in the second quarter. It was around the 9:14 mark where the Packers had the ball, and they ended up scoring on this particular play. And I'm going to go ahead and show it to you so that way you guys can see it and kind of get an idea how it's ran. So as you look at your screen right there, I want to go ahead and point out this receiver here, which is going to be the inside receiver. This is Adams. He's lined up right there, and what he essentially runs is more or less a seam route into this area here. And then this defender right here, which is the linebacker, he's responsible for the number 3 receiver, which is going to be Adams, who's the inside receiver, the first inside receiver. That's who he's responsible for as far as his coverage. So what he's supposed to do is he's supposed to drop back and try to take that away. Now, one of the things you'll notice with him, he's lined up almost near the line of scrimmage. So he's already at a disadvantage, plus throwing that Adams has a lot more speed than what he has. And then what this does is it allows, it's going to allow Aaron Rodgers before the snap, he can read the coverage and tell that it's Cover 2. So right there you can see that these two guys are playing 2 deep high right here as you look at the 2 safeties. And now being Rodgers, being the quarterback that he is, he sees this, and then he knows once he drops back, if they don't do anything as far as with the coverage here or try to trick him or anything like that, he knows darn well that he can make this throw down here. And that's what you're going to see if we watch the video. So let's just go ahead and run through it real quick here. And you can see right there, it's just big play deep down the field for a touchdown. And like I said, this was late, about midway through the second quarter, so they ended up scoring a touchdown on that. So what I want to do here is I want to go back in here and show you the play that we're going to use here for this breakdown. And the play you're going to find out of the Packers playbook is called Gun Trey Y-Flex Fade Smash. So that's the play that we're going to show as far as attacking Cover 2 coverage, in particular Tampa 2. This is what we want to show here as far as attacking it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the formation so you can see the formation on your play and know which formation that you want to use here to do it and do this from. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the formation here in just a second here, and then we'll get into the actual breakdown and get on the field here as far as what that goes. All right, so here you go. As you guys look at it, you can see right there as you look at it from the Packers playbook, it's called Gun Trey Y-Flex, as I mentioned, and it's going to be this play right here, which is called Fade Smash, such as what you see on your screen. All right, and then what I also want to show you is the defense that we're going to run this from. It's going to be out of the dime rush, out of the Bears playbook, Tampa 2, such as what you see on your screen there. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and get in the field here and just take a look at this, and I'll show you exactly how effective this play can be as far as attacking this type of coverage. Now, as you notice, I'm going to go ahead and show you where Adams is lined up at. He's lined up right here, and you can see that he runs basically a seam route where he goes into this area here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and run the play, and then we're going to go into instant replay, and we're going to go ahead and break this down. I'll show you a little bit more about it as we go in here so I can really get in with the telestrator and all that. So let's just go ahead and run it. And then you can see right there that we end up getting a touchdown there. If I didn't hit the wrong button, I probably went in for a touchdown there. Let me do it one more time here for you guys. Regardless if I don't make a touchdown on here, just know that this play is pretty effective as far as attacking Cover 2 coverage, especially Tampa 2. So right there, we go into the end zone and we get a big play out of it. All right, so what I want to show you guys as we go in here, I'm going to go in instant replay and just kind of show you a little bit, why this play is so successful and why it can work against Tampa 2, especially if you're using this particular playbook. All right, let's go ahead and look at it. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to have this route here that's ran by Adams, and he runs more or less towards the seam up in that area there. And as I talked about in an opening thing, this linebacker right here, he's designed in Tampa 2 to drop back. The problem is he doesn't have the speed to begin with to cover Adams, and throwing the fact that when the Packers attacked this particular coverage against the Bears in the real game, remember that he was lined up closer to the line of scrimmage. So that even made him less having a chance. So right there alone, that's already a bad thing for the Bears as far as that goes. And with this coverage, it's already a bad thing because we know darn well that Adams has got the speed to go over the top. Also, as you're reading this, you're going to notice that these two safeties, they are going to split out wide. The reason they split out wide further is because you've got two routes that force that. So you've got this receiver right here. Now he runs more or less a fade route. So his route's going to basically angle towards the outside, and it's going to force this safety, which is the free safety, to go out and cover him. And if we work our way over to the right side, we look at this safety over here. This receiver, which is the tight end, he runs a corner route. His route's also going to be designed to go ahead and force that safety out further out wide. So it's going to widen the gap in the seam area, which, as I've already pointed out, where Adam's running his seam route, where he can be wide open, whereas once we drop back with our quarterback, we can find him open and make that throw deep down the field. And that's what you just saw me do when I actually ran the play. You can see it right here, and that's what you're going to see here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and run this again in instant replay, then we're going to go back and look at the other two routes as well. I want to show you two more routes here that are also nice routes that you can run. So we're going to show you those. I want to go back in here and show you some other routes here. We talked about the fade route that's being ran by this receiver right here. Now, he's the actual play's primary receiver. Even though his route is designed to go ahead and widen the gap with the free safety, because he is running towards the sideline, his route can also be effective. You can throw it over there. Now, if you're going to throw this one, you just throw it over the top. And so that's another route that you can look through to throw to. It's going to be open. So this is why I'm calling this a Tampa 2 coverage buster, because there's several different routes you can hit. Let me go over towards this receiver here, which is going to be the tight end, is lined up over here. So he runs the corner route. We just talked about the corner route. Watch what he does. Same thing. He's going to break towards the corner. Now, you just got to get over the top of that. As long as you can get over the top, he can be open. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be as open as those other two receivers I've shown, but it's certainly a receiver that you can look to throw to if you can get over the top here. Right there. Not quite there, but it could be there for you where you can make that throw. Just keep in mind that's not the play's primary receiver, but definitely another route you can look at too if he splits out wide. If he's not open, then you always got the tight end, because remember, this is Tampa 2. If your tight end's not open, you always got the running back coming out of the backfield on that short curl route, which, as I just showed you, as he comes out of the backfield there. And that's because one of the reasons he gets open, I'll show you here in a second, is that linebacker who's dropping back in that seam route, or to cover that seam route, the Tampa 2 defender, which is this one here playing that hook zone, well, then there's nobody there to cover that. There's nobody underneath to cover that with him dropping back. And as you watch with that, the tight end, when he runs that corner route, look at the defender dropping back. He drops back there and tries to defend that, and he gets in place, which is good because that receiver's not as open, as I've shown, as some of the other receivers. So if you see that, and maybe those other receivers are, taken away, then you always got the running back coming out of the backfield. So that's a third receiver that you have an option to throw to. Then I want to show you one last receiver. The one receiver you're not going to find open for sure is going to be this one over here on the left, more than likely. He's not going to be open until, let's watch. I want to show you this. Until he starts dropping back and sinking back to cover the fade route that's ran by that slot receiver. That middle slot receiver runs that fade route. You have to wait long enough, but once he drops back, then you can throw that. Now, honestly, I don't know why you would make that throw to that guy or even to the halfback if you can hit Adams, the receiver running down that fade, because this is really what the concept's designed to do, is to hit him. Or the other option would be the fade route on the other side, which, as I've showed. So if I was telling you who to throw to with this particular play, if I had to go in order as far as the routes, what I've just shown here, then as far as my reads would be, it would be this guy right here, then this guy right here, and then the running back, and then this one, and then finally the tight end. Now, I know I showed the tight end earlier. That route could be open. It all depends on it depends on if these two defenders right here, particularly these two, as you look at your screen, what they do. If these guys, this particular one right here, if he stays up and covers the hook route that's ran by the running back, then it's going to be, that guy's going to be a lot open, the tight end. If this guy was to not sink as far back, which he probably will, then it's going to be harder to make that throw. So the tight end's probably the least one that you want to look to throw to with this. But all these other options that you have are certainly going to be wide open where you can make the throw to them, and pick up a big play. And look at this one right there. That's a touchdown pretty much every single time. And the cool thing about this one is there are no hot route adjustments as far as attacking cover 2 coverage and Tampa 2 cover 2. Now, let me show you one last thing I want to go into. I mentioned earlier about the speed, and I really don't think it matters, even with Adams not being in the slot. Let's go ahead and just do this real quick. Let's go back in here. I just want to show this to you guys. It's not going to make that much of a difference as far as if he gets open. I'm not saying that not having Adams in there isn't going to be what you want to do, but let's put another receiver in there. So I've got another receiver in there right now. I don't know who it is. I wasn't really paying attention to it, but I want to go and just show it to you guys that you guys can run this and still have success and not even have the top end receiver. So this is going to be Lazard. So let's just go ahead and throw it to this guy here, the same thing, and the same results there. Okay, so that's really it. So it doesn't really matter the receiver. It doesn't even matter the quarterback. I mean, you can have just a regular Joe in there, and you're still going to have some success with this. And obviously, having Rodgers and Adams as the 2 players that are running, you got Rodgers at quarterback and you got Adams at the receiver makes it does make a difference, but not to the point where you couldn't run the play and have success with some other receiver and quarterback combo. So just keep that in mind. So again, guys, this is just the video breakdown I wanted to show you after I watched I watched that game and I saw this. And I was like, man, I want to break this down for Madden. So I thought I'd go in here. I know it's not the exact same play, but it's the same concept. So that's the idea of the breakdown. It was kind of to try to give you guys something from real life, from a real life game to the Madden game, so we can show you how things translate back and forth between the two. So again, this is the fade smash. Nice play to run. You can find this one out of the Packers playbook.